President Robert Mugabe beginning yet another term in office. But so far, his government is yet to implement the new constitution that was passed before the July 2013 polls, which he promised to defend. That has held back key reforms and the work of some ministries. The government has promised to align more than 400 outstanding laws soon, though. But the greatest scrutiny is for Mugabe's management of the country's ailing economy. It's at these multi-purpose Zimbabwe grounds in Highfields, Harare that President Robert Mugabe launched his campaign ahead of the elections last year. There were many promises made, but so far very few of them have been delivered. I'm now joined by social and economic commentator Vince Museve, and I just want to find out, in your view, 1 year into the new term, has anything changed?
Well, let's begin by looking where we came from. I mean, last year, this time, the economy was anticipated that it would grow at about 6% per annum, right? That has now been reduced to about 2-3%, right? If we look at the employment levels, we've had a situation where it is estimated that about 200 companies have closed since July, and we've had about 300 people being retrenched basically every week.
The Zimbabwe grounds themselves have a story to tell. Social services not being delivered, increasing poverty, and a youthful population that wants jobs that sadly are not available. 90-year-old Mugabe has rebutted claims of an economic collapse, saying there are signs of improvement, especially as the government implements ZIM-Asset, a 5-year economic turnaround strategy. But it requires billions to implement, and Zimbabwe has so far failed to secure the funding. It's not all doom and gloom though. Indicators in the education and health sectors are positive, the latter ranking amongst the best performers on the continent in terms of reduction of maternal mortality and provision of HIV/AIDS treatment. While the over 2 million people who voted for Mugabe in July last year anxiously wait for him to come good on his promises, it's worth considering that it's still early days yet.
You're right, a year is not a long time, given that Mugabe has got a 4-year term. But we must see a change in direction. We must begin to see a change in direction.
The spotlight will remain firmly fixed on Mugabe in the years ahead to see if he can get the country he has ruled for over 34 years back on track. Farai Mwakutuya, CCTV, Harare, Zimbabwe.